Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, my name is Zach Onderon.
And my name is Carter Nolan.
And we are back with Star Wars content.
It
and
has
this
been
is going to
so long.
Day before my birthday, May the 4th, be with you all.
Yes.
And I'm so excited with the show. This was a great...
Goodness.
This was
I
a
have
great
waited so long for
And if
this.
anyone's wondering, yes, there's live reactions. We actually probably will have it in the comments. Or live reactions if you're just here for that. But also,
timestamps, yes.
I would recommend sticking around for the discussion because then maybe you'll hear some opinions and you can be sure to tell us all about your opinions on this episode in the comments below because we will answer them and we'll have a good back and forth in discussion because this fandom is amazing and especially when it comes to thinking up ideas.
Yes.
Also, too, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe right now.
And also,
that would be great.
Also, we did full reviews for the Mandalorian season 2.
Yes, and we had reactions.
This is going to be very much in the same style as that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't, please check those out. We go through every episode.
Yeah, so be sure to subscribe because honestly, we're trying to hit 400. We're getting really close, honestly, and it's just been amazing to see. Don't forget to leave a like on this video because it does help. And of course, as I say, comment down below and check us out on Instagram at Known Hockey Podcast.
Stick around.
Yeah, because do we cover hockey? Yeah. Do we like Star Wars? You're damn right.
Okay.
Okay, so Bad Batch premiere.
Yep.
So this was great, but let's end
70
honestly.
minutes.
So how would I try to get this little before pre-spoiler thing?
Oh no spoiler-free review first.
Yeah, and also that's kind of why our thumbnails are going to be very lukewarm. So because we don't want to spoil it.
We're not going to spoil.
We don't want to run the list of anything. That's not cool. That's
Nope.
not good.
Nope.
So without saying spoilers, this show is it's very, I don't want to say mature, but it's very, it plays the risk-reward value smartly. And it keeps its tone level, but at the same time, it doesn't play oblivious to the world around it. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. If there's an argument that Rebels, at times, is too lighthearted. This doesn't come off as that. If anything, the comedy that shows up is welcome, but kind of more plays in tune with the characters themselves interacting with themselves in ways that are very realistic, but doesn't come off like they're making a joke of the story itself.
Yeah, it's kind of, it really reminds me of, because, I mean, people kind of make the joke about Clone Wars being a kid show with all the stuff that goes on with it.
Yes.
It really kind of continues on those lines, and especially in the later seasons of the Clone Wars, where you see stuff. Yeah.
And that would pertain to Bad Batch in the sense of it's similar to that, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also too, if you've seen some of the other shows, there's like other shows that's only going to enhance your appreciation for this one.
If you haven't seen any of the shows, I would recommend watching the Clone Wars, specifically season. I would encourage the whole thing.
Yes.
But at the very minimum, the first, I believe, 4 or 5 episodes
are dedicated to this group.
Dedicated to the Bad Batch, so get your introductions there.
So, with that being said, now we're going to start spoiler talk. We're pretty much going to go through everything that happened, including our reactions, because the most fun reactions we keep, because we don't like getting copywritten by Disney, so we can't do the whole thing. And
we tried that.
Probably, and the description should be able to tell you what is happening. And also, our audio is pretty jacked up enough so that you can hear, like without us putting a screen in there. Because sometimes when you put a screen, you run the risk of just pissing off the Disney gods.
Yeah, and we had to deal with a bunch of copyright stuff today. Already.
Yeah, we've dealt with quite a lot today.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's move on. So I'm just gonna run through this episode pretty much, and then we're gonna have a discussion talk at the end because I can somehow be the lesser of two distracted evils here. So pretty much we start off not in the middle of the Clone War, obviously not in the middle, but near the tail end of it, but not quite at Order 66. Near almost moments away.
About kind of like, honestly, really at the start of episode 3. Because
not at the start of episode. It's like at the hour part of episode 3, 1 hour. Because it says he's on Utapau.
Yeah, well, that's sort of true. Because the intro to the episode, you have the narrator,
they're
like
running
the Clone
through
Wars,
it,
and you have you get to see a few scenes from episode 3, just a few shots from episode 3 in the Clone Wars animation.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anakin.
Yes, Carter. I know,
yeah.
Carter. I can hear you. I can hear it in your voice. You're about to detail. Okay, So what we're trying to say is, this takes place probably at roughly the hour and a half mark, I would say, around Revenge of the Sith.
In episode
It's,
3, yeah.
but of course it hits that point, that stride, because it's not dealing with several different timelines like that
Yeah.
movie. It hits it right away. So pretty much it's good because it starts off with a very run-of-the-mill battle between the droids and the clone army, which is very a welcome nostalgic trip, because it feels like so long since we've had that without that feeling of dread.
Also-
And we have that, but it's still the same. And it's the planet, I'm not sure, it's a snow-covered, it looks like fucking Canada. It looks like Canada.
Yep.
The
The
like
droids
they're
were
in the
invading
sea.
Canada.
Yes.
Anyways, also, one just little note.
'Kay.
If you haven't figured it out already, they're using the same animation style
Yes.
as Season 7 of the Clone
Okay.
Wars, so an
I'm
updated version
3
on the
minutes
original
in. I
stuff.
gotta get this going
Yeah,
here.
let's go.
So, the first big shocker of the episode, though, is that there's obviously a Jedi leading the group, which was... we figured it out, yeah, but we're like, okay, yeah, Jedi, you're Jedi. And the Padawan that shows up is none other than Star Wars Rebels' own Kanan Jarrus, voiced again by Freddie Prinze Jr. Reaction here.
I'm here.
Caleb, where are the reinforcements?
His voice!
Where are they?
Caleb?
Trust me.
That's Kanan Jarrus!
5 of them? 5? We're done. Yeah, that's what I thought. But you gotta see these clones. They're different.
Oh my, we were excited to see and to hear that, because it was something that we hadn't really been on a lot of Star Wars fans' radar, I don't think.
Yeah, and
It was more focusing on like things that were showing up from the Clone Wars, not as much from the Rebels, but it was nice to see.
yeah, we were expecting, we were thinking about all the ways they transition, but I don't think we'd expected this, which was awesome.
And
Awesome.
so obviously now we get the
Nice
typical
touch.
scene of the droids
Droiders.
getting absolutely just slaughtered by clones, because let's be honest, they didn't win a lot. Like, whenever they won was during the monologues. Then they'd get their ass kicked. That's how it worked. And I was finding that also the fact that they had the monologue, we were like, oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
okay, because it just feels nostalgic from a very amazing show.
Also, 1 2-second point. Before the episode even starts, you have the Clone Wars image appear,
Yes,
and
then
it
it
burns
burns
into
it
the
away, just like,
Yeah.
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 So then what happens is there's the typical shot of that, and then what happens is we all saw it coming. Order 66 and the just execution of Kanan Jarrus' master. He's going by Caleb Doom, but we both, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep switching names. I forget her name, but reaction here.
Execute Order 66.
Oh,
Master.
oh no. Oh no. Oh my god. Did it not click with them?
You must run!
Holy Jesus.
Stay away from me!
It didn't go off in their head, did it?
Wait! What?
And it's funny because watching this, it doesn't hit really hard until the music really pipes in and you see all the clones. That's when it really hit me.
And you hear Kanan's reaction to it.
Yes.
And also, one thing, just one small piece of criticism I wish they did is I wish we knew the name of the commander. That's all.
That's fair.
It's probably on Wikipedia. It definitely is on
100%
Wikipedia.
is on
It's
Wikipedia.
definitely there. But I wish they at least just kind of said the name in the show, just so I know who
Commander
this is.
Gree too. Anyway, but yeah, so then from there, There's a very great moment, Carter. I
It's
gotta
not
get through it.
Captain Locke, is it?
Carter, I don't know,
No,
but
it's
Carter,
Commander.
let's not. We'll have this discussion after, okay?
You call.
So anyway, because this episode is long. It's over an hour.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's interesting because right away we realize that the regs have different programming than the Clone Force 99, because Force 99, which is the group that we all should know, the members of it. If you don't, Google it, because it's just very...
Watch the Clone Wars.
It's just very on the nose there.
Yeah.
There's only 5 of them. Don't react at all. And however, there is immediate tension because Crosshair seems to have an issue with the fact that the Jedi... He just wants the orders to be followed, obviously, but it's not so headstrong as the regs. The other ones don't, especially Hunter taking offense to it. And it all leads to a standoff where Kanan jumps off... Well, he jumps across a huge scaffold, a huge waterfall, it seems, and nobody chases him. And Hunter lies to Crosshair, who rightfully knows it's bullshit, and says he died in the fall. And he's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But no, it's just great because there's a little bit of a fight scene, not totally a fight, but like a little bit action. Anyway, let's move on. We got to keep moving. So we go to Kamino. They meet Omega. There's a lot of things that happen here. They meet Omega. There's that amazing shot of the Emperor's speech, which is great. We don't have reactions
straight from episode 3,
but it's great.
Same audio.
And Tarkin shows up, and he's great.
The mess hall.
Carter.
Okay.
We don't need to cut out. We don't need to cover everything, Carter. We don't need to cover every little thing, or we'll be here forever. Mess hall. There's a mess hall fight that Clone Force 99 starts. Right. Omega is seeming very attached to this group. We'll get to that. And then we go to target practice, or like a practice training scenario, which Clone Force 99 aces easy. Yeah. And then
same one that Domino Squad was doing.
Whoa, no, different. It's a different like scenario.
Well, different scenario, but it's in like the same type of facility.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So then Tarkin's like, okay, we'll try live rounds. And so we're like, you and me are like, okay, cool. But then we saw who they were using for live rounds, and my goodness. First shot's gonna go right past him, and he's gonna be like, son of a...
Oh! Dark Troopers.
Now we're talking.
But Dark Troopers started off as, those things are not to be fucked with. Dark Troopers, remember? No, they started off with people in them.
Oh!
Oh my god. So those people, I think those are like the prototypes.
Yeah.
Are you alright?
So I'm not sure if those are prototype Dark Troopers. They also look like the troopers.
They just look like one advancement past Super Battle Droid.
They honestly look exactly like the droids that Thrawn has in Rebels.
But
that
Thrawns
he
are
trains
kind
with?
of the same as what Gideon has. But they look, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's why I'm not exactly sure.
I think these are prototypes for Thrawns.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that they got the original schematics from the Super Battle Droids, which makes me think that the Kaminoans were way too way too in the know about the Separatists.
Yeah, it's funny. It honestly, it looks like they combined a Super Battle Droid and one of the Separatist and like an aquatic droid almost, with just the very square shoulders.
They would have had actually some of those things lying around because those aquatic droids tried invading Kamino.
That's true.
So that could have helped.
Oh,
but yes, it's a great fight scene, and that leads to an amazing shot by Crosshair to end it.
Oh my word.
What? What a shot!
Nice work.
He shoots a knife with an electric shock that puts it on the thing. And like, of course, we also have tech hot wiring one of them to shoot on its own people. It's just great.
Yeah.
And it shows how they adapt. Is the main point here.
It's kind of like the thing you do in Fallen Order.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. I wasn't able to do the whole game because arachnophobia is a real thing. But anyway, yes. So then Tarkin pretty much tasks them to go to Onderon, which is a spot where Saw Gerrera is, and he finds a group of what seems like villagers.
And we called this immediately.
We knew this the second that Tarkin said it, because Tarkin said they were separatists, and I said that is bullshit. Tarkin's full of shit. Everything he says is a lie, and so we were like, that's gonna be Saw Gerrera, right? And you're like, yeah. And it is Saw Gerrera. It's him and a group of refugees, and it's handled very well because it doesn't. I like the fact that it takes time for them to really fully commit to going against this era, which makes sense because of their history with the Clone Army, which is now the Imperial Army. But we don't get new designs, but we're getting there, and you can tell by the end of the episode. But so what happens is they don't follow through with attacking the village. I'm just gonna call it village. But we find out that a probe droid was watching them.
Tarkin was suspicious.
Oh no!
He was suspicious.
Oh no!
He wasn't sure.
No!
At least with the
So, and that's nice because that sound is almost like one of those underrated iconic sounds, in my opinion, of Star Wars. It's just like
it brings you back to the start of Empire.
Yes, and Empire is just an amazing film, so what's not to love?
The best one.
So then moving on from there, they go back, obviously, because they want to get Omega, because there's something special about her. They get captured, however. I just want to remember where the last two things are. Oh, right. And Omega herself, when she's investigating 99's quarters, her droid just...
Clone Force 99.
Yeah, Clone Force 99's
Not
quarters.
99's quarters.
You know what I mean.
Aw.
Shut up. Anyway.
Sad clone noises.
We get there, but a bunch of clones catch her and just take her droid right in front of her eyes. And we were like, oh, reaction here.
Not. We are official canon. Don't touch me, droid.
I'm sorry?
The same droid that was with Fives during the whole Clone Wars arc based around...
And I am 100% sure it's voiced by the guy who does the pit droid voice from the droid arc, also known as what people consider the worst arc, but it's George Lucas' favorite arc, because of course it fucking is. Of course it is. George Lucas is a strange man, but he's amazing.
It is the worst one.
But that's definitely the same voice, because it's just that voice of, I'm going to be smarter.
It was great for Gregor, though.
Yeah.
It's great for him.
You had it. So then...
This is the redeeming part.
Yeah, and then, so... Crosshair gets separated from the group, because they all get put in a cell, especially when, like, Clone Force 99 lands, they take them, they ambush them.
Because they can tell that Crosshair is hesitant, as opposed to Hunter, who's just like,
And so, here's something that I want to touch on, and I actually agree with this. And not just in the sense of making Crosshair a villain, but also in the sense of how it's done. Like, how the inhibitorship works kind of for him. Because I understand this, okay? And I'll logic...
It makes sense.
But, first off, I'll logic it in both ways. Storytelling ways, but also in universe ways, okay? So it turns out Crosshair's inhibitor chip kind of worked better than the other ones did. And I'll explain this in my logical sense. Crosshair's ability, his augmentations, are not mental. They're not something that affects him mentally, okay? So as such, he would still have to think, it's motor reflexes. Motor reflexes, because he's good at sniping. He's a good marksman, okay? So in that sense, he doesn't change his innate abilities. For example, Hunter changes how he can sense things around him, in the sense, because he's a hunter. Right. Like that, So that would affect his brain. Wrecker obviously has
his entire body.
Wrecker, because of how his body's bigger.
He also has a giant.
But you know what I mean, though. Okay, let me just Tech, and this is the one that I think works. Tech works because the logic is that I think he's able to process things available there. So he needed maybe more mental capacity. So it kind of shuts down things that don't work against him. Yeah. And then obviously,
Echo got fucked up.
Echo's brain is fucked.
Yeah,
so it's fine.
He's fucked.
But that's my logical reasoning. But with Crosshair, it doesn't really need to take anything because he's not affecting how his brain functions. It's affecting his reflexes and his vision. So that
he's got a steadier hand.
And also, Crosshair's overall demeanor fits for being more the other way. It's not a mindless brute. It's cold and calculated, just like the Empire likes.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the group breaks out because they pretty much power up his inhibitor chip is what they do, while the other group is still in the cell. The other group breaks out, obviously.
Yeah, they basically like put steroids into that.
Yeah, they pretty much just Venom juiced him.
Yeah.
If anyone's a Batman fan.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then it becomes a great standoff scene, and after the first shot is fired by Crosshair's group, Crosshair just puts on his new suit, and it shows his new armor. Action here. Look at it!
Stormtrooper!
Yeah!
Stormtrooper
Black. Oh! Look at it! He's got that green little tip. It's like a shadow trooper.
Yeah. Stormtrooper.
It looks good.
It looks damn good.
Damn good. Well, it's funny. They're technically all Stormtrooper armor, but you can see how much it accentuates it by
I
having
heard a rumor, and I'll discuss it once we're done going through the episode.
Okay, can I just cut it? Can I just get the since we're so close?
Yeah.
Pretty much the rest is that they escape because Omega makes a great shot at him. We don't have a reaction to that, but it's good. And so we go, and then they go off to hyperspace, and they're going to where?
So they said they're going to, is it
G19? J19 or something?
J19.
Okay.
And I searched that up, and that is, I believe, Seleucami. Or at least
Seleucami
the Seleucami system.
And Seleucami is?
Where that clone farmer guy was.
Yes, okay.
In the Clone Wars.
So that's pretty much all, and that's the end of the thing, and that's not confirmed, but like that's going to be a thing, but that's the end of it. We know we think they're
that's
going
our
to
speculations.
So now, with that being said, let's go to a little more of a discussion, okay?
So I want to first talk about the rumors I have heard about Crosshair. Okay. So, have you ever heard of Vader's Fist?
I have.
Vader's Fist
is 501st but villain? Like,
it's basically they take it's a group of the most enhanced soldiers they have that work with Vader hunting down Jedi.
Not Purge Troopers? But Purge Troopers are more of a modern thing added. I would love to see Purge Troopers.
Well, the Vader's Fist is not... parts of it are canon and parts of it aren't. Okay. They haven't fully established what it is in the canon. Mm-hmm. So I'd argue that you can do a lot of unique things with that. And I think Hunter would be... not Hunter. Crosshair would be a perfect fit in something like Vader's Fist.
I agree. I want to see what type of group he has, because he's obviously the first setup villain. And you see, Tarkin can play a villainous role in this thing, but the thing is that Tarkin at his core can't be the be-all and end-all. He can maybe be it for one season, that's it. And the reason is because we know his story ends at New Hope. So therefore, he needs his most important moments in New Hope. He also plays a part in Rogue One. Yes. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I love seeing him develop his character, like them getting scenes of him and showing what he's doing at this time period. But at the same time, you need to establish more newer threats for them to fight, other than just the established. Yeah. And that's good by having Crosshair.
Do you know what Crosshair reminds me of? Hosk. From the Battlefront 2. He does. Like, you got the one group, and then the one guy, everyone defects except for one guy.
That's the thing that reminds me, though, is that
Except Hosk he became more of like an admiral.
I'm Sango's Inferno Squad reminds me of that.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so what do we think is Omega's deal? I told you this, and
you thought it was like telepathic.
No, I think she's force sensitive. I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the thing, though.
That makes sense.
Because there's a scene in that thing when she goes up and she knows what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
That is not motherfucking empathy. That is. And also, too, the fact that she's a medical thing. Are we saying she is force heal? if we're saying, so here's my thing, okay? Here's my question. Can I give you my crazy thought? Can I give you my crazy?
I wouldn't say she is Force
Can I
Hero,
give you my
Force Hero,
crazy?
Force Hero wasn't really discovered.
Can I give
there.
you my crazy thought here? Okay. Crazy thought. Okay.
Okay.
What if? Because Omega. Okay. So, what if Palpatine, in his infinite wisdom, wanted to use his DNA to use as one of the clones? Now, here's the weakest thing, the weakest case I can make. Okay.
You're super boying this.
I am super boying this, but can I just tell you my dumbass case? My dumbass case. Yeah. The hairstyle is the same.
Yeah, it is.
It is, isn't it?
He looks like Sheevy boy.
Yeah, she looks like she. But you know what I mean.
I forgot it's a she.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll say. Okay, and also
What's
too.
the freaking thing pearl on her head though? Is there a significance to that? Or?
She's a lady. No, I have no idea.
Does it mean that she has to have a rock dangling here?
Well, if we're going to the Queen Amidala School of...
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Fashion?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But no, that's my one, my Superboy fan pick moment. Omega. I'm probably wrong.
Omega Omega gets a suit of armor.
But it kind of stays on brand with the idea that Palpatine wants to outlive things, you know what I mean? Palpatine's whole idea is that he wants to, his life and death thing. At its core,
it's Palpatine's daughter.
He wants to build a Death Star. He wants to build something that can be the be-all and end-all of death and life. Because that at its core is is who Palpatine is.
Yeah.
Palpatine is not some lavish monarch.
Yeah.
He's somebody who wants complete control, but also to control his own fate.
All. Yeah.
So that would make sense. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm probably wrong. But I like throwing ideas out there into the wind and seeing what gets caught.
We know that they're probably gonna ditch the armor to an extent, in the sense of there's a lot of scenes. There's a lot of scenes in the trailer where they're not necessarily wearing it. So I think
that's good though.
They're not gonna ditch it completely, but I think you're really only gonna see them wearing it when they're intending to go to battle or something like that. And
Crosshair's already ditched his.
Oh, well, yeah, because he's.
I love that green tint visor he's got.
Yeah, get full Shadow Trooper. Yeah,
that's what I said. It was a Shadow Trooper.
Oh yeah, because it's the black. Yeah.
So, what are things we want to see?
Well, we know that eventually the Bad Batch is gonna find Rex.
So does that mean we also want? We could see Gregor and Wolf.
Yeah.
In battle arm, we could see Gregor in his battle.
What if we get the Bad Batch all in their armor, plus Gregor, Wolf, and Rex in their prime? We're not talking about old man Rex.
Okay, let's be fair though. Rex in his prime is probably during the Clone Wars.
Okay, maybe not prime, but we're
This isn't Dark Knight Returns.
He's not an old man.
This isn't Dark Knight Returns. This is
This is nearing the end of their, maybe just after their prime, or nearing the end of their prime.
If we're comparing their prime to a mainstream character like Batman, this is like Jason Todd Robin territory. This is Tim Drake Robin territory. This isn't prime Batman, but this is he's still good. So what are some other things we want to talk about? So Saw Gerrera showing up is nice.
He's gonna show up more.
He will, obviously.
Absolutely.
I want to see. I like the idea of them going to different systems every episode. That's good, because honestly, that's one of the biggest things we want to see in this show is world building.
Yeah.
And just working upon.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually kind of I know Tech is smart, and I'm kind of surprised he was able to figure out the way he did about the whole inhibitor chips things. Mm-hmm. In the sense of, I thought is he gonna be able to find the files of when they did all the stuff to Top when he
obviously knew that those inhibitor chips were there way before.
Oh, he must have known way before this that they were there.
Mm-hmm,
but not known their full purpose.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good. This episode was really good, and it ended the way we expected, was them getting off Camino, and that's the ending.
Yeah,
We knew it, and that's good because you know what? We needed to get Crosshair on the other side because everyone was saying Crosshair.
Yeah, this episode really needed to be 70 minutes long.
Like you could just get the established stuff. You could not have
split this up into 20-minute segments.
Is there much more you want to say? Because I don't know.
There's really not much more.
It's just a really good episode, and honestly, I'm excited to see where this goes. I don't know if they do it every week from today. Or
I actually on my phone I have a thing that has the schedule, so I'll have to check it.
Sweet. Okay.
So I'm not sure. Yeah. If it's on Wednesdays or Fridays or whatever.
That'll be it. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, especially if you made it this far, because we really appreciate it. And likes do matter because it helps get the name out there.
Absolutely.
Subscribe if you're new to this channel because honestly, we welcome everyone.
Absolutely.
We talk about hockey a lot, but we also love talking about stuff like this.
Yep.
And be sure to comment down below your thoughts on this episode because, you know, comparing notes. Tell us your thoughts and where this season's going to go. And... Yep. Who the hell Omega is.
And like I said, check out some of our Mandalorian reactions. Those were really good. And then we also...
They should be here.
They're somewhere. But then we also did reviews for Resistance Season 1 and 2, and then also Rebels. It's actually kind of good.
It's semi-okay.
And Rebels Season 1 and Season 2. Yeah. And with more to come in the future.
So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. I'm excited.